it's my turn. Let's roll the dice and see how we play. 2-2. I wanted 1. I wanted to go and grab this newspaper, but it's not going to let me. Let's stay in yellow and let's exploit the fact that we have a molly here in our reputation. And we're at St. Paul's Cathedral, a yellow site that has cruise as its site action. We can play a matching desire from our hand, and we have one, the 7. This 7 gets added to our reputation. We're cruising around St. Paul's Cathedral. We're getting more infamous in the suit of pentacles. And cruise says, draw cards from the deck equal to our reputation with a maximum of 4. So if we had more cards, we couldn't take more than 4, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pentacles, we can draw 4 cards. Yes, it includes the 7. And we draw a jack, an 8 of cups, a 5 and a 7. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but we added the 7 to our reputation. And do you remember? The molly says every time you add a matching desire to your reputation, the molly claims 3 joy. Okay? So simply by cruising and adding this 7, we've given ourselves 3 more joy. 1, 2, 3. That's no bad thing. This reputation is serving us well, so you can see how reputation can be good. It lets you grab more cards when you cruise. Mollies in your reputation let you gain points when you add cards to your reputation. They really do help. But we're getting pretty infamous. We are pretty exposed if a pentacle threat ends up in gossip. We don't know where one of them is. It could already be in gossip, remember? Remember at the start of the game we put 1 card in gossip. That could be it. So there is a risk here. It's a small risk, but it's there. It could still be up there. It could be up in the Rookery still. It's the Rookery's turn. Let's see what they do. Oh, it's a wild accusation. This can be dangerous. It's not dangerous on the first turn because we've not become an informer yet. This says, when drawn at the start of the Rookery's turn, which is now, perform a wild accusation. A wild accusation says, draw the top card. If it matches one of our informer tokens that we've played, remember we've got 1 informer token. If we'd played this to one of these 4 molly houses, let's say we played it here at some point, if this was a heart, then we would get accused and correctly accused. But we haven't played it yet, so we're good. All right. Instead, it's a cup. This just goes to gossip. We have a look at it. We see what it is. It's a random card being added to gossip. It's an extra risk to look out for in the solo game. There is a chance that when a wild accusation comes out, a threat might be pulled and added randomly to gossip. This kind of emulates the actions of an opponent player, one of our 4 opponent players, actively trying to get a threat in gossip without us being able to do anything about it. All right, so there's a small chance in the solo game that this happens. It can happen more often in the multiplayer game, I'm sure. Okay, discard this card now and then shuffle the discard card pile back into this deck. I'm kind of hoping to get this threat out of here somehow. I don't really want the draw deck's getting a little shorter, so I don't know, we'll see what happens next. It could be the wild accusation again, but no, it's as common as the Knight. This is a quote from Chaplain of Newgate, who was said of a young guardsman by the name of Rowley Hanson, in reference to the fact that he was often seen cruising at St James's Park, that he became as common as the Knight. The young Hanson was ultimately hanged at the age of 21 for stealing a watch. Okay, what do we want to do? I know I want to keep things low, but I know... Oh, reveal 2 is good. All right, I've got very little information about the Rookery right now. But the Rookery are going to hang around making themselves known to us. They're as common as the night, so they are going to give quite a little bit of information now. We could report, we could reveal 2, so we lie low or rig. I'm not sure rig's very useful. Indulge is good. Alright, so that's a way to get that threat out of the market. They do have a pentacle, so if we were to report, they would remove that card from their reputation. I'm quite happy for them to keep it. The thing is, if I do want to go for a festivity next and play out this constable, I don't really want them having. Well, I can rig it up to the top of the deck. Okay, maybe this is the way to go. If I don't take it, it's definitely going into gossip because it will be discarded. Yeah, let's do the right hand side. So we're going to indulge 1. We're going to grab this threat and we're going to place it up here. Now, I'll be honest, I don't think we're going to be able to score that thing. We're definitely not going to be able to score both of these because the deck is pretty short now. I don't think there's time to score both. Right, we've indulged, so we'll pull. I mean, the other option was to grab something like this fan. I wonder if that would have been better. So if this house does close, it doesn't close too drastically. Oh, maybe we just don't score. Maybe we just let that go to gossip. I don't know. This is well, it's done now. It's done now. Indulge 1. Right, reveal 2. Oh, I could reveal one of those others. No, but I'm gonna do this. Let's see what's at the bottom. Okay. I don't really want him scoring that 9. So now when we rig, do we want control over this or not? I mean, I could bury it at the back, but that's just all that's doing is as good as just leaving it in the market. We may as well have not taken it. I'm going to keep the rogue here. I might just bury this 9. Remember, there's a good chance one of these other threats is around about somewhere. Okay, so we've rigged. So rig lets us just rearrange. We could rearrange however we wished. It's going to score the Rookery good points if they score it. So let's push it at the back. Okay, now 3 market discard. Desire, desire, desire. 3 desires. We've got a Molly now at the bottom. Let's refresh the market. 6. Jack. And a 1. With 4 cards left. These are either all threats or there's some up here. Wow, that is interesting. Now, do we want to move this Molly? I think we do. 1, 2, 3. I've kind of given up hope of grabbing this newspaper. There's no way I can get down here, then move back up here to place my newspaper notice. And the newspaper notice says, as your action, if we're at an open house, place an encounter token face up there. If I'd have done this early, that might have been a good play. I didn't get the roll I needed. I'm not going to be able to get down here and up there now. So yeah, lost my chance. But what I can do now is come over here and play a festivity. So let's do that. 3. So I got my... Oh, hang on. Is there a chance? Do I go 1, 2, 3 and grab the newspaper? Or do I come and do the festivity? The sensible choice is coming here and playing this out. I'm going to get another chance at finding a newspaper. There's a chance that the Rookery will play a festivity at this house. And that'll probably end the week. Do you know what? This has been my plan from the beginning. So why don't I do that? Grab the newspaper. We do discard a Molly when it's taken. As it says, when taken, do a market discard. So this comes down on my board. This goes to gossip. Remember, threats and Mollies go to gossip, which I didn't want to see. That is risky. Maybe this is the bad choice. No, this is definitely a mistake. This is definitely a mistake. I've got to come here. I have to. Yeah. I have to let the newspaper notice go. I mean, a newspaper notice is only important if I feel that I'm picking up an indictment that's going to lose me the game. Then I become informer using a newspaper. It's such an easy get out. I'm going to let it go. I think I'm going to let it go. There's more than one newspaper. There's like 4 of them, so there's a chance another will come up. Let's go here and do the festivity. It's the only way. Okay. Oh my gosh. This game. It's because the deck's so short. If the deck was taller, I'd be going here. With only, was it 4 cards, then I have to go here. All right. When we throw a festivity, the first thing you do, even before drawing a community card, is draw a new orchestration card for the Rookery. This one was going to play of all 4 hands, but we don't know. There's some uncertainty here. We've thrown a festivity, but we don't know what the Rookery is going to do. We're going to have a little negotiation with them. Let's see what the outcome is. The outcome is a visit from Deputy Hitchin. They're going to play 3 and then 1 random. Interesting. So I take the candelabra. We start with a card for the community. Let's see what it is. It's a rogue. I don't get to set rogue values. These are done randomly. And it's a 6. Okay. So starting off with a 6. That was a very bad draw. Because we can't score both. No matter what, there's no world where you can score both rogues and constables in the same festivity. So in a quiet gathering, you ignore rogues. Constables are 0 up here. Yep, the worst draw. We found the other yellow threat. Now the one saving grace of this threat, if it does get scored and we don't score this one, if the community scores this one, all players get to clear their reputation of pentacles. So I do have a choice now of either scoring this one or scoring this one. If I don't score this one, then we don't actually mind anymore. So do we instead play the Jack and the 7, let's say, and forget the quiet gathering? I don't really want fans in my reputation, do I? Maybe I don't. Should we play the 7? Okay, I've switched tactics. Maybe I should have gone for that newspaper after all. I don't know. Who knows? Now we're taking, remember, 3 play tokens and 1 die. So we want the 5. We want them to play the 5. When there is another thing we could do here, is have them play this. That could become a 5. This is interesting. Or it could even become a 7. Let's put these... let's put this here. If they play their rogue, why don't I play the 8s? Because the 8 and the Jack together, we've got cups with a Molly. This is much better. 6, 7, 8. Yes. We're the festivity thrower, remember. And this is the benefit of throwing the festivity rather than let the Rookery do it. I like this. We're playing the 8. See, the other option is I played the 7, and then if they play a Jack, I don't have to play the Jack. I could then play like the 5. So I don't think they're... I've seen lots of Jacks. I'm pretty sure they're all out. I mean, there's only one left, right? No, that could very well be in Gossip. I can't remember. So yeah, I'm going to play the 8. This is where a good memory helps you in this game. Okay, right, we've got a play here. They're playing this. I mean, it's also why having items are really helpful as well, because they can help you fix down on festivities. And this is a 5. They better not like play a queen or something. That would be horrific. Okay, they rolled a 6, so they're passing in the middle. Okay, that's good. I'm happy with that. They're playing this 5. And then they're playing this rogue. we can set its value. So we're going to set it, because we're the Festivity runner, we're holding the candelabra. And we're going to set it to a 7, right? Yeah, 7. Now I play the Jack. Community card first. And it's an 8. Interesting. Well, that's okay. I'm running the Festivity, so I can choose my 8 over their 8. Now I play the Jack, but I mean there is an argument to say, well, why not score for the community? I've got Joy quite a long way ahead already. Remember, I'm trying to get Joy up to 30 to end in community survival. Okay, round 2. I've got these played. This one passed, so the pass token stays there. But so we got two dice, and I can assign them how I wish. I don't really want them playing anything, so something like this we play from this column. Okay, so we're going to get one hand playing something, but we don't know what. Okay, and then 1 in 3 chance of these two playing something, so 2 in 3 chance. So yeah, chances are they're going to play at least 2 cards here. Oh, Queen. Ouch. Okay, we've got Queen 5-5. If there's a 5 up there, they've really... Well, I've got a 5. There's a 5 down in the save pile. There is a 5 out here somewhere. Oh, I mean, it could be in Gossip, I can't remember. And you're not allowed to look through Gossip. But if they pull out a 5 here, then they've really scuppered us. Okay, a 1 or a 2 and they're playing. It's a 4, they're passing. And then this one, 1 or a 2 and they're playing. Oh, it's a 1. It's a 1, they're playing. What's it going to be? If this is a 5, then this is a dramatic play by the Rookery. Oh, gosh, my heart. It's a 2. It's a 2. Okay, so we've got a 7 here, 2. Wow. The Rookery almost got it together, but didn't. Interestingly, I had a 5. I mean, I could have played into that. That would have been fascinating. Okay. They didn't play a Jack. They almost scuppered me. But this is our Festivity. We do have a dance. We have a Jack. We have 6, 7, and then an 8. Do I go for me or them? Well, I love those points. I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points for me, or 5 points for community and 0 for me. The community's a long way back, but do I take the early lead? Community's going to score 0 off this. Which would you do? Well, part of me wants to take this because I'm feeling greedy, but Orange Deb is telling me to score. It's better to dance with fine gentlemen than with obscene postures. So I'm going to score this one. I'm going to score this one. I'm going to score for the community. It makes sense because I'm already quite a way ahead and the community is such a long way behind. I'm going to have to. Alright, so Molly's first. So I'm scoring Orange Deb, which gets me 0 points but gives me a cup in my reputation. Then we're scoring this for the community, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 joy for the community, and this goes to the safe pile. Good. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Putting them up on 7 joy. Right, now threats. So this rogue scores. Scoring for the Rookery. They don't have any fans in their reputation. This is going to the safe pile, which means I know this fan is down here. Okay, that's good. And then the last card to score is this rogue, also down in the safe pile. which means when you play a threat out, remember, you foil a threat, your reputation is cleared. When the community foils a threat, all players do this. So that includes the Rookery, who had this one pentacle in their reputation. That's going into the save pile, and I've got all four, right? So finally my reputation is cleared. 2. Now I can invoke the pride rule if I wish. I added 4 cards to the save pile, so I could take 4 yellow cubes into my reputation. I can't do it partially, so this is all or nothing. Why would I want to do this? Well, just to keep my reputation alive. Obviously the Molly isn't here anymore, so it's not going to be scoring cards, but it can be used when I cruise. But 4 is a lot, and it's very early in the game. It does mean I'm going to pick up an indictment if the yellow house, if Mother Clap gets closed. So I'm gonna not use the pride rule. I'm gonna keep my reputation clear now. It's still only week 1. Okay, unscored cards are going to go to gossip now, and I want to point out an important rule, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 cards here that are not scoring. One of them's mine. Remember, if you play a card that wasn't scored, you draw a card from the vice deck. There's only 2 cards left in the vice deck. Okay, so what happens? 2 cards are going to get drawn. Other people are going to get a draw token. But before we decide, what I tend to do is this. Okay, these are all going to go to gossip. Okay. And we've got 2 cards to allocate. The remainder keep their draw tokens and going to draw at the start of the next week. Who do I want to get these cards? Well, this is an interesting little question. It's the Festivity runner that decides. So when it's the Festivity runner, you decide the order cards go to gossip, and then who gets to draw, who gets a draw token. I don't really want to draw a threat, so I'm going to keep hold of my tokens. I know that amongst these 2 cards, that bottom card in gossip and the Rookery, there are these 3 threats. There's a good chance that these 2 are threats, or one of these 3 is threats. I might just give both these cards to this guy, this hand up here in the Rookery. This is going to help me remember that there's a good chance that somewhere in the Rookery is one of these 3 threats. I mean, it could be any one of those. It might not be these. It's just as likely to be these as it is any other. But it's interesting information nonetheless. All right, there we go. Right, let's keep these draw tokens with their respective hands. This is mine. And now we do the runner's bonus. We get nothing because the matching house was pentacles, and our reputation has now been cleared because we scored that rogue. Perhaps that was a good reason to use the pride rule and keep that 4 reputation. But it's still week 1. This reputation is permanent. I'd have to make sure that Mother Claps, the yellow pentacle house, stayed open, or risk picking up an indictment. Indictments can be pretty game ending. I'm still happy it's the right decision. On week 1, cards in your reputation are temporary. Cubes, they're permanent. You can't get rid of them. Okay, community bonus. Okay. So it's up on 8 points as well, which is good. Right, that was my turn, wasn't it? So market shuffles down. This would be the point at which you check your hand size, by the way. Hand's limit is 6 cards. I've currently only got 4. Rookery's turn. The vice deck's empty, so they're taking the candelabra. And we begin the end of week. So first step is to reveal any threats in our hands. We have 1. Rookery doesn't have any. This goes to gossip, and we grab a draw token. Okay, so we swap it for a draw token. We've got 2 now. Anytime we add a card to gossip, remember, we're exposed. But we don't have any. We don't have any pentacles. We don't get any cubes. We don't discard them. We already did that when we scored that rogue. Okay, so there's no consequences here for being exposed. After all, we cleared our reputation. We made it good with Thomas Newton. We're in the clear. No threats up here. Now there may be, but they do get to hide them. Okay, so there's a little bend in the rules here for the solo game. We know darn well there's 2, possibly 3 threats up here, but unless they're revealed, they stay there. All right, so there's a little bend in the rules for the Rookery. The Rookery is a criminal underworld, and they do have men on the inside, like good old Deputy Hitchin, that keep them protected. Next, the Society for the Reformation of Manners is going to investigate. They're going to investigate all that gossip that's been going on. So we give this a good old shuffle. All cards that are not in hands, not in the market, not in safe, they're all now in gossip. And we're going to take a third rounded down. So the way I do this is I just start dealing and make 3 piles. The smallest pile will be the one that's on the right. So this becomes the new safe pile. That goes to safe pile. Okay. Are any of those threats in that? Remember, the safe pile you can examine any time. There's no threats in there. This is not going to be pretty. This becomes gossip. We reveal this now. So there's not going to be any hearts, and there aren't going to be any cups. So for sure, I know those 3 threats are up in the Rookery. All right, that's what we've established. What I'm looking for now are the threats that are in gossip and how much evidence they're going to produce. So let's look at fans first. This constable is looking for fans. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 fans. That's going to create 4 evidence. This constable, we didn't save it, is looking for pentacles. There's 1, 2. That's going to create 2 evidence here. This evidence is going to go in its respective Molly house. So green up in Miss Muff's, yellow up in Mother Klepp's. And then we throw all of gossip into the safe pile. And we give this a shuffle. So none of the houses were raided. They'd only be raided if they had 7 or more evidence. Okay, so we did okay. We kept things under control. I mean, the way to look at this game, if you're thinking about how to play, community survival, keeping houses open, you should think of that as success, right? That's what you're trying to achieve. Everybody wins, okay? That's what Mollies want. Now, if you feel that a house is going to close, if the house is going to get raided, and you're worried about infiltration, remember that's when all houses get raided, or a raided house gathers 7 more or more evidence. If you're worried about that, and that's kind of a loss for everybody, then you can turn informer. Right, that's what you should be thinking. And that's what these tokens are for. And that's why I was so keen about newspapers, and also why I'm so keen to know where the locations of threats are, because I want to know what's going to be happening. I want to be in control here. Now, the other thing I'm thinking about is this accusation, and I'm going to show it to you pretty soon. Because we get a free accuse when our player pawn is in the same place as a Rookery pawn. And we do have to roll and move first, so there's a chance we'll move away. But we could, if we rolled a 0, we could stay at Mother Klepp's and accuse the Rookery. Oh no. Rookery's going to move first. They're holding candelabra. Okay, all right. But what's important now, as you can see, there's 8 face-down cards in the Rookery. 3 of them are threats, and I know this for sure. Okay. Now that's almost 50-50 chance, right? 3 and 8 chance of guessing where one of those Rookery threats are and exposing one of those Rookery hands as an informer. That's pretty good. And then we've got a choice to make, and this is particular to the solo rules. Remember, we've got these 4 jokers. Just before we clean up at the end of the week, we're given a choice. We can remove 1 joker, or none, 1 joker, for 5 community joy. We don't have to, but I think we're going to. So let's do that. This is removed from the game. And then Community joy is increased by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This has taken us closer to our target of 30 for community survival. Now you might ask, why wouldn't we? Well, if the game ends in community infiltration, we'll score, if we're not hanged, we'll score an additional 1 point for every joker we saved. So if we wanted to, we could save all 4, play for community infiltration, and we'll get an additional 4 points. But there we go. We'll get these as a little compensation if community survival doesn't happen before we spend them. Okay, let's set up for the next week. So 1 card goes to gossip. We refill the market. Starting with the player with the candelabra, we draw cards for players with those draw tokens. The Rookery's got 1 here and 1 here. We've got to remember that those 2 cards are less likely to be threats than the other cards. We've got 2 draw tokens, so we're drawing 2 cards. Let's see what we get. Right, 1 of fans and an 8 of cups. This I like. I like this because I've got a Molly in my reputation of cups. We refilled the shops now, so these get discarded. Yeah, we lost our chance of grabbing that newspaper. But I'm feeling kind of good. So we've got another domino, we've got a bribe, another bribe, and a dress of cups. So a domino, in case you're wondering, what does this do? Play before revealing gossip at the end of the week. Your reputation is ignored during raids. And that's really good. Really good. I mean, all of these items are good. I'm banging on about the newspaper, but all of them are good. And then the bribe. As your action, examine the gossip pile and take 1 card of your choice. Imagine you know when mollies and threats go in here. This is a great way to grab them. And you've seen the power of mollies and the importance of controlling threats. So, yeah, all of these items are good, really. But there it is. That's the end of the week. We're now moving to week 2.